to the crazy. Life's a mess, but we're keeping it hazy. From health to mentee beats, we take it in stride. But first, we're here for the wild ride.
Hey guys, welcome back to But First with Tommie
and Kyle.
We are now on to our second phase of this endeavor where we're trying out new podcast softwares. So this is our first time using Riverside, and we're virtually recording.
So far, so great. Super easy. We're not getting paid by Riverside, but I wish that we were because I'm very happy with it already.
Same, but I also love that we can now do this like in nap time.
In nap time. Finn isn't napping, but that's okay. Someone's here helping me, so God bless.
Oh, God bless the nanny.
Yeah, he woke up a half an hour, 40 minutes early.
Oh no, I just had to go in and tell Jay. She was like, wasn't sleeping yet. And I was like, you have to nap now for 1 hour. Okay. And she said, we go shopping after. I said, yes. Okay.
Hey, love a deal. Love a deal. Love a swindle. All right, so let's start. We're going to do segments now. First segment is a no-brainer. Why haven't we started with this to begin with? But each week we're just going to talk about butt stuff. But first, and it's going to come first. So, butt first. Butt stuff. Dude, I have to tell you that I was, you know me, and I was a big Chia stan. And yeah. I don't know what to think of it now. Okay, so postpartum. What's that?
What happened?
So, okay, postpartum. Let's start from the beginning. Pre-pregnancy. Took a fiber and probiotic multivitamin, like felt really good. Always had a nice, clean little, long old poop-a-doop. Okay. Then pregnancy, same, feeling great. Postpartum. Boom, comes constipation, leads to the the hems. And Liam Hemsworth, I was like, okay, need to do everything I can to prevent any more destruction. So I went hard into all the realms of what can I do to help this bum.
Went hard. And the opposite of hard, really.
Yeah. So,
went hard to go soft.
Went hard to go soft. Cut to finding Chia, like a literal dream. And I'm like a quarter teaspoon. I was a quarter teaspooner, and that would be completely enough to get me through. And all of a sudden, now, okay, so that was like, I found my niche, got in it, feeling good, felt good for about 3 months. This entire past month, not a single solid.
Really?
Don't know what's happening. There was a week or two I was waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the bathroom. Emergent.
I feel like that's got to be environmental, like stress or something like that.
Probably. But I went to my doctor last week because I was like, what's up? And she was like, well, what do you think is going on? I was like, why did I come here to have you ask me that? But I was like, I'm going to do a parasite detox. It's holistic. It's all tinctures. What do you think? And she was like, it'll just suck for you. But if that's what you want to do, because John thinks I have parasites.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to take one for all the team because John and I have been getting so many Instagram reels on our feed that are about parasites. Mm-hmm. So naturally I'm like, I have one. And so
I think everyone does have at some level, because I've heard that too from holistic doctors, that just the way we eat and everything, everybody does have some level of
if you've ever eaten sushi, they say you have a parasite.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Quick question before we go too much further. Do I look blurry to you?
You did before, but now you don't.
You do right now, and you have.
Really? Mine's so clear. Like what I see.
We'll just have to see what comes out.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything for you to fill us in on Liam or the other Hemsworth brothers? I just like to call them the Hemis, the Hemsworths.
I don't have much, but I am for the first time tracking my food, which
Okay.
is exciting. I'm kind of excited to see what I can develop out of that. So I'm,
Okay. Is there a reason for the track? Like, are you trying to gain muscle? Are you trying to, like, help your
yes.
bowels from going 100 times?
So really it's mood related plus
Interesting.
gaining some muscle. I went and saw Dr. Jaxie at Ascend Wellness and
Okay.
we did a scan basically, and I kind of saw what calories I should be eating to maintain my weight essentially.
Mm,
And I was telling her about how I get so crazy depressed and weird the week before my period, and actually
mm,
2 weeks before. And she was like, Tommy, I feel like you probably have some type of nutrient deficiency. She's like, I don't think
mm.
you're eating enough. And she's like, and that can really impact when your hormones start going with it. And if you're
Yes.
not eating enough, probably not enough veggies too. So we're going
Yeah.
to track it and see what that looks like and see if there's any tweaks that we can make, particularly like during my cycle, so that I can make sure I'm getting the nutrients that my body needs to support me in the hormone shifts.
I feel craziest before my period, faux show. So
I
I'm
want to
excited to hear
burn
what you
life
learned.
down the week before. It's crazy.
Yeah. I've cut sugar out of my diet, and I just looked at my bum today, and for the first time in years, probably like over a decade, I have no cellulite in my bum. Like
Wow.
in behind my legs. I'm also like loving my bike these days. My non Peloton at home, my Schwinn, and there's just no cellulite. I sent John a message and I was like, I know it's smaller because my rumpus is what we call it. My rumpus used to be large and I loved it, but now it's smaller, but it's no
It's
cellulite.
tight.
What?
It's nice. It's tight.
It's I don't know if I'd call it tight. I would just call it smaller because
Okay.
I've just been really mindful of what been eating. Just- yeah, no sugar.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm curious what your nutrient deficiency stuff will do to you because I
Me
just
too.
love, and I'll give you all the updates on my parasitic adventure.
I love that.
That's going to have to be a weekend where I'm just fully home because what is that going to look
Yes.
like?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this episode we decided we've been side talking, just you and I, a lot about religion on and off and spirituality for you. And I'm a Christian and going to church. Just went to an awesome event this past weekend. We can dive into that too. But one of our topic questions was religion in our little answer questionnaire we had when we first started. And a few people said they wanted to hear about religion from us. And I'm excited. You start.
Okay. Religion is something that I have struggled with since I can remember.
Hmm.
I grew up Roman Catholic, so I was always at church and we went every Sunday. We went on holidays, the whole thing. I got my first communion. And then my dad died.
Hmm.
And I was like, nope. My 12-year-old brain could not, in any way, shape, or form, fathom why, for 2 years, my dad firmly, faithfully believed, prayed, got everyone else to pray for him, wanted to be with his family more than anything in the world,
Hmm.
died anyway.
Hmm.
Could not understand why a God who's supposed to be listen to you, and there's all these Bible verses that are like, pray and you shall receive this and that. He had so much faith, and from going through these emails, if you've been watching that I've been doing, then you would agree that he really did, honest to God, honest to God, believe that he was going to get through, and he didn't. And I think that was the first point where I detached a little bit.
Hmm.
From there, I took a little bit of a break with church and God and everything. And then I ended up finding a very, I don't know the word to describe, a Christian church, not Catholic. And it was the first time that I experienced religion from a It was born again Christian. What is there a title for that?
don't ask me.
Okay.
Not
Uh,
me.
so this was more where you stand up and hands up in the air, you're praying, you're having a good
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
They had youth groups. I liked the youth group. I thought that was cool. They had cute religious boys. I liked them. My first boyfriend. Um, I
Okay, so
liked it
you were
there.
younger. You were younger.
Yeah, this is about, so my dad died in seventh grade, and in ninth grade, I was heavy, heavy into the born again Christian thing.
Okay.
So heavy that I went on a missions trip to Africa, Uganda.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, you're
Yes.
in it. You are not just like heavy. You're like deep in it. Okay.
I was in it heavy. Went to Uganda, kind of saw some crazy shit there
Okay.
that probably is I'm not going to get into details about. There was just like some spiritual stuff there that I saw, that people explained to me, that was very much unsettling to me.
Was
And
it
if you
speaking in tongues?
nope, they did that at church all the time, so I was pretty
Oh.
used to that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This was kind of dark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and I'm in Africa by myself when
At
I'm
in
14.
ninth grade.
Mhm.
Oh, Lord, your mom was also faithful, apparently.
Yes, she really was, and I
Okay.
think losing my dad too, she was in a really hard spot of making decisions by herself.
Sure.
For listeners who also don't know, I also have a special needs sister. She's deaf and blind, so my mom's plate was pretty full, and I am a convincing person, and I think I played into that a lot. I
Mm,
knew that she had weaknesses that I could
mm.
tap into, and I think she just thought, if it's church, if it's God, then I'm going to trust. I'm faithful. She grew up Catholic too, and she's still very into her Catholic religion. She goes to church every
Mm.
Sunday.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, so she was cool with you going to this different church.
yes, and actually, she came for a little bit too because I loved it so much. I think she was so encouraged to see me
Oh,
enjoy church that she wanted to be a part of it. So she came to the
yeah.
church as well
Yeah. That's
for a little
lovely.
bit. Yeah. And then from there, let's see, I had a bit of a falling out with that church because I had a conversation with one of the someone in the youth group that I got the vibe of being very judged.
Okay.
I was a
That's not a good
cheerleader.
feeling at a church.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
a cheerleader, and somebody said something along the lines of like, well, you know how cheerleaders are. I was like, no, how are they? I don't, I don't understand.
Mm,
It was just it was an in-depth conversation that kind of had this perspective of don't be this person because there's no way that you could be this and also be
mm.
a
Yeah,
Christian
you
or
can't be multidimensional. You are just a cheerleader.
right.
Right.
And they behave in this way,
Mm,
XYZ,
mm, mm.
which isn't Christian.
No.
So after that, I was a little standoffish. And then I went back and forth. I always want to be a part of something bigger. And
Mm,
this is so funny. There's people who I specifically ask a lot of questions to.
mm,
I call my grandma, she's my godmother. I ask her questions about the Bible. I had a friend who I kind of not we're not close anymore, but I asked him a lot of questions about
mm,
religion. I
mm,
have a friend Sabrina who's Christian and she's a yoga teacher. I have asked her a lot. And I think when I went into yoga teacher training, I felt super conflicted because my whole life I was raised Christian Catholic, and yoga does have the basis of other religions
mhm,
underlying, but I also believe in some of those theories, morals. I've read books, I have studied, I have actually postpartum. I kind of, one of the ways my postpartum anxiety and depression attacked was I was in, I was obsessed with religion and finding out
mm, mm,
what's right, what's wrong. I was so
mm.
nervous that I was going to teach James the wrong thing. And then
Oh.
if I taught her the wrong thing, I'm disservicing her. And I needed to know the truth. I needed to know, but obviously it's one of those things where there is no truth. There's
Mm.
no scientific proof behind this.
Yeah.
And it has always been a struggle for me, and I love to talk about it and hear answers and hear what people have to say, and I'm super open-minded, and probably once or twice a year I will go to church because I want that, and I want to see like, no, maybe this time I'll like it. And something I still just haven't found anything that feels right and that feels authentic to me. So what I've really been practicing now in my life is, and this is something that one of the people who I was talking about, who I talked about to religion, is he always told me, he said, it's a personal relationship and no one needs to understand it except you and God. And that's what you need to get comfortable with before you're asking outside people. He's like, just be comfortable with the relationship that you and God have together, and trust that what you feel is right in that is right.
That's what I mean. Before I got baptized a few years ago, and I was seeing John, I would say to him, like, I don't need a book to tell me what I know in my heart. And I had a great relationship with God. Like, I knew God in my own way. I just didn't know him in the sense of knowing Jesus' story and understanding the Bible more that I feel like I sort of do now. I don't feel like I'm like, I can recite all the verses for you. And, but yeah, I feel that. Understand.
Yeah. So that's really where I am in that standpoint. And I think I I don't know, just anytime it's been organized to me, there's been something that rubs me the wrong way. Yeah, organized. Anything organized stresses me out. So I've just been working on my own personal understanding and relationship with God.
I appreciate that. Okay, I want to tell you my journey, and then maybe we can just like chit chat about where we go and motherhood as a believer too, because I think I'm curious where you stand with it, knowing that you are faithful. Which I want to just say, like, I think it's hard to be faithful after loss, after such a tremendous loss, like a parent, especially at such a young age. Yeah. So I think that is a very normal thing. And I even talked to my mom the other day because I didn't grow up going to church. And her and I have been watching Starpoint now together. She's in Mass and I'm up here, so sometimes I attend live, or I'll watch online because it is an hour away from me. But I asked her, I was like, why didn't we go to church? And my parents both grew up different religious backgrounds. So my mom grew up one version of Christianity, and my dad grew up Protestant, and I think they just or Protestant Catholic, maybe Catholic, and so I think they just didn't want to go and do different things. They wanted to bring it together, but neither of them could decide where together was. And then my parents got divorced, and funny enough, it made both of them separately want to find religion a little bit more. And my mom also lost her brother to suicide, and she told me that made her angry at God for a little while. Like, why didn't he protect her brother? And so when I asked, it kind of brought in a whole conversation for us, and I was just kind of more like, you and I love going to church together now, and like, we're so in this, and you're so in this. And I remember listening to Christian music when I was a little girl, but we never went to church. And so we kind of like talked about that. But so I didn't grow up going to church. I remember thinking the kids that went to Sunday school, I was like, that's interesting to me. Like, I was interested in that. Like, why did they go there? But we would go every once in a while for like holiday services and stuff. But so I grew up spiritual, I always said, and believing in God, but my own version. And I remember I watched A Walk to Remember. Do you remember that movie where she,
Love that movie, yes.
spoiler, she friggin' dies? But she said this most beautiful thing, and it was like, my faith is like the wind, you can't see it, but you know how strong it is. And I took that and I like made that part of my personality in high school. And I actually started a MySpace page / in-person real group that was called Breeze. And it took that quote from that movie and like was like supposed to be a community for teenagers to be able to talk about religion openly. I've just been doing these community things since I was.
I love that. It really is part of your personality.
Yeah, it definitely is. So yeah, so that was me. And so when I met John, he in his Tinder profile was a Christane, which he spelled Christian wrong. He spelled it Christane. And
Did you definitely use that when
what's
you were?
that?
Did you definitely make jokes about that when you were
Yeah,
DMing?
I still do. He's Christine. And so when we met, I asked him a lot about his religion. And when we first started dating, when I would sleep over, if it was like a Sunday, he was reading his Bible. Like he read his Bible religiously every Sunday. That was a stupid way of saying that. And, he would ask me about my faith, and he always felt I was, what do you call me? He had a funny name for me, but I can't remember. But I always said, I don't need a book to tell me what I know in my heart. I know what's in my heart. I know the depths of my soul and what this means. And it wasn't until we did start talking about children that we wanted to get on the same page about religion. And him and my dad actually got into like an argument about Jesus. And I didn't take either side. And when we left, John was like, this is like, it's God and then everything else. And you didn't have my back. And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. Like, I just don't know enough. And so it kind of snapped me into like, I want to know more. Like, okay, I'm going to ask you. So whenever we would go on drives, which is everywhere because we live an hour from everything, I would just ask him so many things like, okay, tell me about this, explain this to me, and how did this work, and blah, blah, blah. And then when Ashley and I became friends, she had always asked me to go to Bloom, and I just kept pushing it off. And it wasn't until like I had a huge mentee B, like I had a serious mental breakdown. I was having terrible anxiety. I was having excruciating insomnia that was like 3 hours of sleep a night and just like was in a horrible spiral. And I was like, I've tried it all. I'm going to try this church thing. So I started, watching Starpoint online, and then would go every once in a while. And it wasn't until I went to Bloom that, which is like a women's event for Starpoint, that I met this woman, Mary. Oh God, this service was so beautiful. The music just made me weep. And then the worship music made me weep. And then the speaker was a mom and a daughter duo, and the daughter had they had gone into severe car accident, and she like was paralyzed and like brain damage, and they got, she woke up from her coma that she had been in. All her brother, her sister, her dad, and her mom, they were all in the car accident, but she was the worst off. And all of them were in different hospitals and different rooms, whatever. And when her parents were getting better, they were finally able to go and see their daughter. And long story long, she like woke up singing worship songs and reciting full verses from the Bible. And she was like, I met Jesus. Like, I know what my purpose in life is. She was 17. And she just fought different things after that. She had brain cancer. She had just so many things that went wrong. And this woman was on stage smiling and speaking so happily, even though she was like, 20 something and, being predominantly cared for by her mother. And she like her whole life trajectory was changed in an impact from a car accident. And she'd even talked about how she forgave the person that hit them in the car. And it was just like this aha moment of like, life is so much bigger and my problems are so much smaller. And if this woman can go through all of this, like, what am I even thinking like my suffering is? There is no suffering. I'm okay, and I can get through this, and maybe I can get through this with God. And so I stayed behind in this after the service, and there were these connect groups, and I stayed behind with this woman named Mary, and she was just like this beautiful soul, and we were all talking in this group, and then she asked me to just stay behind, and I was very raw emotionally, because I was going through so much non-sleep essentially, and just like heartache in my life, from stress. And she just asked me a few things, and I just booger cried, and she finally was like, all right, we're gonna get you Jesus. I was like, I don't know. And she was like, let me talk to you a little bit. So we talked through it, and I was like, okay, I want to know more. Like, let's do it. And she gave me like a Jesus starter pack, not really what it's called. But it's like, a Bible, and they gave me some stuff, and she gave me a verse that I still love. And it's that the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. And it's John 1:3. And it's she gave me that verse, and it's still the thing. I have a little piece of paper that I wrote it, and it stays on my refrigerator. And I read it yesterday when I was feeling shitty. I told you about my OCD stuff that's coming up. Yeah. And so I read it, and it's like, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. I'm getting emotional just saying it. And it's just like, I've always felt like a connection to God, but I feel so much deeper and stronger now. Like, I feel deeper and stronger. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel things for others. Like, today I saw Finn just like smiling outside and walking around, and I just felt it. I felt it, and I just got to my knees, and I just said, thank you, God, so much. Like, the thing that I prayed for is literally outside, and I think for me it was, just getting out of my own way, and mostly that, and being as present as possible, I think, and religion really grounds me. And honestly, I love Star Point Church. I hate how far away it is, because I do love going and listening to the music, and there's something powerful that happens to me every time I like sing a song. And like, even on Saturday at Bloom, there was songs that I've heard a million times, but like, that message in the song got me different in that moment. And I was just, Yeah. And so I feel like, to wrap this, it's that I got pulled out of a dark pit from religion, with religion, and with Jesus, and with God. And I just am so grateful. I'm just so grateful. I knew I could talk to God before, but now I'm like, the way, the truth, the life, like the only way up to heaven. And I just am so, amen.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was, I don't know that I wish that it was under different circumstances. Like, I wish that it didn't take something traumatic, my trauma to like happen, but I'm glad that it did. I look at everything as a life lesson, and there aren't explanations for a lot of things, and I feel like with you and your dad, and questioning, like, how could you take someone that was clearly so religious and so spiritually for you, and it's like, I don't know. I don't have the answer as a Christian for you that you want, and I don't, like, if anybody asks me, like, I've had conversations with family members and the questions, and it's just, you have to believe that the people that you love that are, that do know Jesus and do know God are where they are supposed to be, and they're happy and they're living without the pain and suffering that they were in.
Yeah.
And as a mother now, I'm like, oh, like I already read Finn his Bible. I've read him little Bible stories, but obviously he doesn't interpret them. But every night we have a little bedtime blessings book, and we read like the same like 4 usually, because and I go through it, and I just hope that little pattern stays with him, and he at least has that. And it's obviously it'll be his choice, but I think with John and I think he's gonna feel it. He's gonna understand it and feel it.
Yeah. Or their first and best teacher.
Maybe. Taught you how to poop on the toilet, and I'm teaching you about God.
All the lessons.
All the life lessons.
Yes.
What do you think, where you're at, if James pulls a Tommie like you did with your mom, like, what do you think? Like if she finds a church that she's really excited about, how do you think you'll feel?
Oh yeah. Anything. I'm open to all exploration, to all. I think that's the key, is knowing, getting as much information and trying things and trial and error. And like you said, things are lessons and you find what feels right. And I think it comes down to also, what's the word I'm looking for? I wish I could think of what word this is. And not autonomy, but when you can like decipher what
Self-direction, like if she's like
if you can decipher, it's like decipher is the best one I can think of.
yeah.
Whether something is right for you or wrong for you. I'll think of it. I'll think of what word it is.
Moral compass?
No.
We'll move on from that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be here for a while if we're thinking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go to church with you sometime. I also tried to shop for churches. So like I got baptized at Star Point, and then after having Finn, it's just so it can be really hard to get an hour drive there and an hour drive back. It's basically it's a 3-hour thing, and so that can get difficult on random days. They do have like a great kids program there, but I did try to shop around for churches. What a wild ride that was. Like trying out churches in this area. I'm not going to name any churches or anything, but I just kind of thought I was going to feel the same way that I did at Starpoint and just be like, oh, it's just this place is closer. And it's like, whoa, no.
Yeah. I mean, I have tried, and I think that's what is another example of what makes it so personal, is that you read differently. A different person feels totally different about a place, and I'm sure in different phases of your life too. So do you know what I mean? There's just so much.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, so I tried 3 different churches just locally here, and and it was like Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. Like, I like the setting of this one, but not the music I would prefer. And I didn't get them understand and decipher the message from the pastor. No, you're out. Has fun music. Don't like the message. Don't like the setting. You're out. Or, okay, good music, great congregation, still not getting the message. So it's like all of the things had to come together. And then there was another church we did try that was, again, far, but I got a great message from them. And I was like, well, we can't do another just far one. Like, this doesn't make sense. So, I mean, I've talked to a friend of mine that, like, shopped around, and yeah, it's just kind of like, it's like dating, kind of. Then you like try it one time, and you're like, okay, that's pretty good. Let's try it again. And you go back, and you're like, that was not the same feeling I had the first time. And then you go back again, and you're like, nope, this ain't it.
Yeah. It's a lifelong journey, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. Unless you find a good home
Right.
early,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Religion.
We'll have to do a part two.
We will. Why? What do you feel like we want to talk about further part two?
Oh, I don't know. There's so much we could talk about.
I know, because
I
we're
could ask
from,
you some questions.
oh, okay.
We're already at 40 minutes though, so we really can't.
Well, we had to take out that whole part where
That's true. That's true. Vacuum and other people's medical history.
let's keep this part in. So it's just like, where did they take
Yeah.
that part out?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be very apparent because we're not good at this yet. So,
Yeah. We will be able to clip it, I think, pretty easily. I remember being able to clip stuff from Spotify when I was doing it on there. Like you can just like listen, block it, get rid of it. Goodbye.
cool.
Might be a little choppy, but
We'll be
James
masters at this
definitely
in
didn't
no
go to
time.
sleep, by the way.
What's that?
James did not fall asleep. Although now she seems quiet. But before
Fudge.
she was just talking.
I changed my phone to autocorrect anytime I say the F word to the word fudge.
I love that for you.
And so in real life, it's also
Did I
made
say
me
it?
change the word fudge. No, I was gonna. And so I caught myself and said fudge instead.
Oh,
Wrap
love
it
it.
up, Tommy.
All right. That wraps up our religion part one. Tommie and Kyle.
If you have questions that you'd like us to ramble about on religion, or you want to come on and talk to us about religion, being a
Yeah, that would
mother,
be cool.
or, just religion and your hemorrhoids, please
Yes,
get
I would
in
love
here.
that. Leave us a comment and tell us that you want to be on our show.
Let's do it.
Okay. We love you guys. Thank you for listening to us and dealing with us and helping us help us. Well, no, wait, that's not what I wanted to say. We appreciate you being patient while we navigate the technology of podcasting.
We're still learning, but we are growing,
We are.
truly. We love you
Okay.
guys.
Love you
Thanks for
guys.
being part of the
Bye.
Peachtree fam.